Microsoft is phasing out support for legacy drivers through Windows Update on Windows 10 and Windows 11. This means that older hardware drivers, especially those not updated or actively maintained by manufacturers, will no longer appear via Windows Update. This change started taking effect around mid-2025. It's aimed at improving security and system performance by removing outdated or redundant drivers from the update catalog. 1. Why some drivers are missing. Windows no longer searches Windows Update directly via Device Manager. Instead, drivers appear in Settings, Windows Update, Advanced Options, Optional Updates. If the driver is very old or no longer supported, it might not be shown at all. 2. How to restore or access legacy drivers. Check Optional Updates. Go to Settings, Windows Update, Advanced Options, Optional Updates, Driver Updates. Manually install any listed drivers. Download drivers from manufacturer. Visit the hardware manufacturer's website, e.g. Dell, HP, Intel. Search for your device model and download drivers manually. 3. Roll back a driver. If Windows automatically replaced a working driver, steps. Open Device Manager. Right-click the device, Properties. Go to the Driver tab. Click Rollback Driver if available. Use third-party driver archives with caution. If the OEM no longer offers the driver, use Trusted Archives, Station Drivers, Driver Pack Solution, Offline, Snappy Driver Installer, Origin, only download from known safe sources. Always scan files with antivirus. 4. Use DISM to install drivers, offline or in bulk. For advanced users, you can inject drivers into Windows or install multiple at once. Steps for installing. Open Command Prompt as Administrator. Use the following command: dism/online/add-driver. driver:/path/2 driver folder /recurse. Replace c:/path/2 driver folder with the actual path containing .inf files. The /recurse flag tells DISM to search all subfolders for .inf files. 5. Roll back to an earlier system restore point. If a working driver was recently removed or replaced, steps. Press Windows R, type RSTRUI and press Enter. Select a restore point from a date when the driver was still working. Let the system restore. It may bring the old driver back with it. Export a working driver from another system. If another PC has the legacy driver working, you can copy it over. Steps on the source system. Open PowerShell as administrator. Run export Windows driver -online -destination. D:/exported drivers. Move the exported folder to your current system. Use Device Manager or DISM to install from it. Look for open source driver alternatives for legacy hardware no longer supported by OEMs. The open source community sometimes provides drivers. Examples: community GPU drivers, example for older NVIDIA or AMD cards; Realtek Audio /community modified INF packages; NDIS wrappers or open Wi-Fi drivers for rare network adapters. You'll need to search GitHub or forums, Tech PowerUp, MDL, Vogons, etc. Read compatibility notes and licensing. Use test mode or unsigned installation methods to install. Document and archive legacy drivers for long-term use. If you're running legacy setups, e.g. labs, CNC machines, diagnostic tools, treat drivers like gold. Create a driver vault per device model with version, date, and OS support. Keep .inf, .sys, .cat, .exe installers, manufacturer name, hardware ID, notes backup to multiple drives or cloud storage. Use naming format like Legensu, Realtek HD Audio R2.81_Win7, Win10.forms PNP 2016-12-07.zip. Maintain a README or changelog per folder. This ensures drivers survive beyond their OEM websites and supports future reinstallation without relying on Windows Update. Imaging and deployment with pre-injected drivers. In advanced scenarios, you can use DISM to inject drivers directly into a Windows installation image. This is useful for deploying Windows on systems with unsupported hardware where no drivers exist in the default installation media. By integrating legacy drivers into your Windows ISO or .wim file, you ensure they are applied during Windows setup, bypassing the need for manual installation after the OS is installed. This method is commonly used in schools, factories, and organizations maintaining long-term hardware. Understanding the life cycle of hardware support, ultimately the removal of legacy drivers from Windows Update reflects a broader industry reality. Hardware support has a limited lifespan. Manufacturers typically stop updating drivers after 5–10 years, and Microsoft eventually removes outdated or insecure packages to reduce support complexity. As a user or IT professional, recognizing this cycle helps you plan better. Archive legacy drivers early. Use modern alternatives where possible. Treat critical legacy hardware as frozen systems that should avoid major Windows upgrades. Use virtual machines or dual boot setups if necessary. This long-view mindset is essential when managing systems that use legacy drivers, whether in home studios, schools, manufacturing plants, or repair centers. Beginning in mid-2025, Microsoft has made a significant change to how Windows 10 and Windows 11 handle legacy drivers. They are no longer available through Windows Update by default. This shift is aimed at improving the overall reliability, performance, and security of the operating system by pruning outdated or unused drivers from the update catalog. As a result, many users with older hardware, especially peripherals such as legacy audio devices, graphics cards, network adapters, and USB devices, may find that their devices no longer receive drivers automatically when installing or updating Windows. This poses a challenge for maintaining legacy systems or continuing to use older hardware with newer versions of Windows. To address this, users must take a more manual approach to driver management. First, they should check for drivers in the optional Updates section of Windows Update under Settings, where many hardware drivers are still published but not automatically installed. If the driver isn't available there, the next step is to manually download the correct driver from the manufacturer's website using the device model or hardware ID, which can be found in Device Manager under the Details tab. Installing a driver manually may involve using Device Manager's Have Disk method or the command line DISM or PNP util tools, which are powerful ways to install .inf-based drivers offline or in bulk. Users who find Windows is replacing or overwriting drivers automatically can prevent this behavior by configuring group policy for Windows Pro Enterprise or using registry tweaks that stop Windows Update from pushing driver updates altogether. For very old drivers that may not be digitally signed or compatible with modern Windows versions, users can try compatibility mode installation or even modify .inf files to trick the system into accepting them, although this is more advanced and may require disabling driver signature enforcement. Additionally, tools like Microsoft's now discontinued Wuxiaohai Dialog Cab, Driver Store Explorer, RAPR, and offline driver archives can provide extra control for users who need to manage legacy drivers proactively. In extreme cases, extracting working drivers from an older Windows install or virtual machine using Export Windows Driver may be necessary, particularly for rare or discontinued hardware. While this added complexity may frustrate some users, it reflects Microsoft's continued push to modernize Windows while leaving behind legacy components that may introduce instability or security risks. If this video helped you, or if you're someone keeping legacy hardware in use for productivity, gaming, music production, or even nostalgia, drop a like and consider subscribing for more in-depth tech content.